87% of classic video games are out of print, and that's a problem for gaming history.
It's true.
Well, they're classic video games. Of course they're out of print.
Yeah, but okay. Come on. Okay, compared to movies. How many movies are out of print?
That's true. Not many.
0%? 1%?
Yeah, you can always mint a disc.
No, but like it's not even about making a disc. It's just like, oh, I want to watch Superman. I can watch it legally somewhere.
Yes.
I can rent it on any store. I can probably sign up for like Warner Brothers streaming service. It's on there.
Mm-hmm.
I could go buy it on Blu-ray or whatever. Whereas like if I want to play the Super Nintendo or N64 Superman game, I can't do it.
Nor would you want to.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I wouldn't want to.
I get you. You can't just go out and buy it. Well, you can, cause that particular game, but another game, let's say Chrono Trigger, which is more popular.
But you can't get Chrono Trigger.
You can get Chrono Trigger, but you're gonna have to pay some big bucks for it.
No, it's available.
Is it available?
Yeah, they released it on. That's the thing is like some games are available. So
Yes.
Chrono Trigger is available on PlayStation. It's on iOS.
So the more popular games are still available.
Not even popular. It's just like. Well, Square Enix will try to get money from a stone. So, like, basically, if you want to play a classic Square game, they're available.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I want to play Rygar. Can I play Rygar? Can I play Pole Position legally?
You can play Pole Position legally.
Okay.
Because it's on the... When Nine Arsons was here, he was talking about it. You can get Pole Position, the classic, on the game on the Nintendo eShop.
Oh, right.
It's $10.
Oh, right. But yeah, most games are not available.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It just is, and if you want to play it, you have to pirate it. There's no other option. So that kind of piracy I'm okay with because there's no legally way for you to do it. But it compared to movies or even music, like pretty much anything is available.
Yeah.
For you to legally get.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of just like, why is this not the way it is for video games? Like, I know it's a little different with a video game. It's like, well, it ran on like the equivalent of a calculator back then. So it's a little more work to just get it running on a modern system. Because it'd be like, oh, it runs at like fucking like 2.2 gigahertz now, where it was running at like 33 hertz back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's like impossible to even look at the screen.
It's just too fast because everything's tied to the clock speed.
Yeah. When it's a little different when it's a movie, it's like it's plays at 33 frames per second or whatever, like it's nothing too crazy.
There are a lot of people like for console gaming, I can see that, but for the PC gaming, like especially the old stuff, a lot of it's been archived.
Yeah, but you can't get it legally.
No, you can't. You have to go to GOG or archive.org.
Well, and if it's on GOG, you pay for it. It's not free on GOG. But, but a lot of stuff, mostly console stuff, yes, it's impossible to play it legally, which sucks.
Yeah.
I wish it was different that way. Like, why does Nintendo not, we've said it over the years, why don't they have their own Game Pass thing where just all Nintendo games are on there? No, they prefer to release 3 at a time on their little Game Pass thing. And it's cool what they're doing on there because it'll be like, oh, this Japanese game that was never released in North America is available for play. That's cool. Or they've added multiplayer into like online multiplayer to Super Mario Brothers. That's cool. But it's like, why not you just put them all there?
Yeah.
Stop messing about here.
So reading the article here, it says the Commodore 64.
Yeah.
95.5% of titles are currently out of print.
Yeah.
For the Commodore 64.
Yeah. So and there's some that are available.
Yeah. And the ones that are available are probably new.
Yeah. Or they're like ones that are on like that Ant stream or whatever.
Yeah.
So there are some, but it just sucks that I could say like any game from back in the day that I played on the Atari, I probably cannot play it legally. Not that I would want to necessarily.
Yeah, there's only maybe those 10 that have just been reprinted for the special edition that are going to cost you $1,000 each.
Yeah. But even if it's just like on Antstream or whatever,
Yeah.
Like, why do they not just... I don't know if they think their license is not getting paid enough or whatever. I don't know. Or they even know who owns the game.
Yeah,
that could be part of it too.
Especially with PC gaming, like a lot of those old games, nobody knows
who owns it now, if anybody.
Who owns the copy of that?
Yeah,
nobody knows.
So it sucks, but I remember years ago, Frank Cifaldi, who's a guy with the Video Game History Foundation or whatever it's called, he did a talk at GDC or something like that about video game preservation and history, because he's big about that. Yeah. I've been following him for a long time. Like his original website, the redeye.net, I used to read that like back in the early 2000s. It was like one of my favorite websites back in the day. But he's big in the history of video games and preservation, and he did a whole talk about video games, comparing them to movies, and how you can buy Uncle Buck on any platform, any format, anything. There's like 30 different. You could buy it on PSP. You could buy it on DVD, VHS, Blu-ray. Like movie companies, they will release it to get the money. Whereas video game companies is like, no, that was on the Nintendo NES. It's done now. We're not dealing with it anymore, you know?
You got to get the new hotness. Only the new hotness.
Yeah. And it is a little different too. Like movies always look more or less good. Yeah. They're filmed on film. You know, a movie generally filmed in 1980 will look as good as a movie filmed nowadays. Generally.
Generally, yeah. Depending on how they've upscaled it and put it onto the system.
Well, I mean, it's not even really upscale it. Like,
no, it's just
the filmed,
digitization.
It's filmed like 1-to-1 basically, just because it's on film. But yes, getting rid of film artifacts and blah, 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 blah. Whereas like comparing Super Mario Bros. To Super Mario Galaxy or whatever, like you would look at it and be like, oh my God, it looks like trash. If you weren't part of the generation to watch it, right?
Yeah, if you're not a big fan of pixels, then
well, and it'd also be like, oh my God, the movie's black and white. But then it's like that people that are cinemaphiles back in those days would be like, oh my God, it's a silent film. Yeah, you know, it's comparable that way, but it's a little different where it's you could look at a movie and besides the fashions be like, oh, that was filmed last week. Yeah. So anyways, hopefully this report is not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything. Just brought more eyes to it, but yeah, it sucks. Yes. Microsoft is trying to do it.
Are they?
Well, they're pretty much any Microsoft release game is available on Game Pass. Like anything they published, more or less is available. And with their backwards compatibility thing they made every game on the Xbox 360 or original Xbox can work generally, but they went to the publishers of the game and were like, hey, do you want us to like turn it on? And most of them said yes, but some said no. Yeah. So there's some you can't play, even though they would work.
There's got to be a system out there where you can, because especially with the later consoles where it's disc-based, there's got to be a system where you can just be like, oh, I want this game. And then they'll just print you the one game.
That is kind of the way it works with... Actually, sorry, there is... I don't know which movie company it is, but they do that exact thing. Yeah. I don't know which one it was, but I read an article about it where they, for their classic movies, you can go to the website and be like, I would like this movie on Blu-ray, and they will just make a copy. It's old movies that they're not distributing like on DVD or Blu-ray. Yeah. But you can order an individual copy and they'll print it and you buy it from them and they send it to you.
Yeah. I mean, why couldn't they do that now with video games? Like, especially disc-based games anyway.
I mean, yeah, but there's a little difference between the one single different anti-piracy algorithm they have on DVDs, where every system has its own anti-piracy thing. Yeah. So.
But if the company's minting it with the anti-piracy already there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I know for like Dreamcast and stuff, they had their custom. You couldn't. I mean, they will run off a CD, but it was custom sized discs, the GD-ROM. Yeah. And then same thing with GameCube, with their little mini discs. So, but in the era of Blu-ray drives, yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, you just mint it and be like, there you go. You don't even need a manual. You just print out a sleeve and put it in slap it in a case.
The difference is though, is that the movie, I don't know which studio is doing that. They actually sort of care about the history of cinema. Yeah. Whereas video game companies, like, do you remember like a few years ago where they were asking about backwards compatibility on PS5, and I don't know who it was, Jim Ryan on PlayStation was like, who wants to play those old games? Like, we're not going to have backwards compatibility. Are you crazy? No one wants to play that old busted shit.
That dude's out of touch.
Yeah.
Everyone wants
I don't
to
know
play
if it was
that old
Jim
busted
Ryan.
shit.
I don't remember who said it, but it was definitely someone on the PlayStation was like, no, we're not doing backwards compatibility.
That dude has no idea what's going on.
Well, I mean, but the thing is they do know what's going on because they have like analytics of like seeing how many people actually booted up like a PS3 game on PS4. It's like, oh wait, did it have backwards compatibility on PS4? I actually don't know. But generally, the percentage of people that play old games on new consoles pretty low.
That's because they're playing it on their old console.
No, generally people, the majority of people, when they get a new console, the old one goes to like the younger brother.
Yes.
Or like to the thrift store.
Unless you're our age.
Or unless you're sort of like a gamer guy that are like, oh, I'm going to play that again.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, no, I got the new Call of Duty machine. I don't need my old Call of Duty machine. I got my new Madden machine. I don't need the old Madden machine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, hopefully something changes.
Yeah.